Come on, everybody, let's start the show. A quick ahoy hoy and away we'll go. Richard's got a minifig and Flynn's got a pin. The gang's all here and it's time to begin. Tricky Bricks roll call. Moto, Holly, Cara, and sometimes Blair, Clicky, Logan, Ms. Thing and Angela, and Thunderman Ho! Now you're here to grab your bricks and let's go to the Tricky Bricks Build and Check Show! Ahoy hoy friends! Sorry, that was... See, once again, Richard is not here, and I am at 6s and 7s. But hope that you are all having an awesome Friday. I know there's like a lot of people at Brick Fair, Virginia right now. I've been seeing the pictures, and I have to say I'm so jealous. So many awesome Lego Masters people. But I know that my time will be coming soon to be able to go and hang out with everybody. So I'm very excited to be going to Portland next month and get to see a bunch of people. So hope everything's going well for you. Ahoy hoy, Johnny. I'll be seeing you later. Got my coffee here. So we've got a fun show for you today, and we've got some special guests to help me get through the No Richard thing. It's so weird, right? It's so funny because I do this Twitch stream every Tuesday and I'm by myself and totally fine. And then he doesn't come on this show and I feel like I'm frozen. I have no idea what to do. But very excited to have some special guests on today. And one of them is here to join us right now. And we've had her as a guest before. She also has her own Twitch stream. A fabulous, wonderful friend all the way from the UK. Please welcome crankybricks.
Hey.
Hi, Catherine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How's it going? Apart from the No Richard.
It's good. It's going all right. It's going all right. I managed to get a haircut recently. I finally ordered the new glasses I've been going on and on about for many months. So it's all good. It's all good. So, golly, it's been a little bit since the last time you were here with us. Last time it was on a Sunday. And so this time we kind of get you all to ourselves, which is exciting.
Yeah, no pressure.
No pressure. So just curious, what have you been working on lately? Like, do you have any projects in the works or anything like that?
Yeah, so I can't remember when I was last on the show and what I was doing at that point. So I think I maybe had already started my my adventure game, and we were actually talking about this recently as well.
Right.
That I have been building a sort of a paradise island for me and some of my friends and Twitch viewers as well to like interact with. And it's called Paradise Apparel because it's classic Lego pink themed island, but it has a bit of a dark side. But recently I've taken a break from that and been building trains. So
tell us about that. Why the sudden interest in trains? Not that trains aren't completely legit, but here also too, I just wanted to say I have my right back on our display. I have my
yeah. I love. Is it sealed? Or is that just the box?
No, it's been open. This is from Blair. Brought this for me when he came up to visit. But
I've had that set since it came out.
Wow, that's so awesome.
I'm not going to tell you how old it was when I got it, but anyway, I've had it since it came out.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what happened. What's with the trains?
So it's well, I've always loved trains because trains are cool, and I'm an engineer, so I'm not a train-related engineer, but still,
Oh, I was going to say, cool. Do we need to?
I'm nothing to do with trains.
There we go, just for you.
But like I've always loved planes, trains, and all that kind of stuff. And there is our London AFL's, my local lug. We have our first in-person show for 18 months. The last one I was at was January 2020.
Wow.
So our first in-person show since then is at the London Transport Museum depot. So it's outside the centre of London. There's a big venue that has like old tube trains and old buses and, you know, all that kind of like classic London transport stuff. And so I'm going to do a display for that. And I'm going to build some classic Lego trains. Not Lego ones, some classic British trains out of Lego.
How fun. Yeah, I have limited experience with trains, although like part of our like being entered into the hobby here was our nephews gave us their old 9-volt train along with all the track and everything. And it played that system played a really huge part in both of our like largest mocks that we've done to date.
Yeah.
And they didn't have anything, neither one had anything to do with trains, which was funny. So our first one was our California Dreamin' mock. And we did, so we used the trains, but instead of train cars, we made them into like California sports cars. So it was like a little train of California sports cars. And then in Treasure of the Snake Queen, we actually built a medieval village on the train cars, and they went around to give an idea of motion.
It's so funny because you're not a classic Lego train builder, but trains get everywhere, like roller coaster tracks, monorail, 9-volt trains. You know, it's all such It's so versatile, classic power Lego.
Well, and now interestingly, though, we always build a train before at Christmas to go around our tree. So I've done I've built the out of our own parts the Christmas train and a couple of other ones, and then we have for this year we've got a Hogwarts Express, and we've also got the Disney train and station. So I think that
are we going to build that sometime?
Yes,
just remember, we build that together.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we definitely need to do that. It's like so many builds and so few streams. So yeah. But actually, real quick, before we get too much further in, I wanted to say hello to everybody who's here in the chat today. Just to kind of say hello, because I see a lot of people sliding in here. So yeah, let's see. All right, I see Albert Lee is here, Alexander 23, Aubrey Kovach is here, Brickanista, Brickman Mosaics Art, Bubs and Lava Bat, Chris, Lego should be an Olympic sport chalice. Nice.
Yeah.
Abby the Brick Squirrel is here. Fabufan MKE, Heather Mraz, Hooded One, Jake Sadovich is here. Hey, Jake. I saw my friend Johnny was in earlier. Joel Marbella, John Luttrell, and Vicky. Hey, how's it going? Hell's Bells is here. Let's see. Maraid just showed up. Hey, Maraid is here. Starting the Emscapades. Maraid, Minifig Chick, Minifig Nick, Monica Berry, and Moto. Very good. We've got Peter Hornberger is here. Ahoy, hoy, Hornberger. I think it's just Peter this time. Pink Wheels 3 is here. Rita Carre, hey, how's it going? Robin Eklund, Spaceman Jonathan, Wyatt Builds, and of course, Zarakino Kim. So great to see everybody here. Matthew Builds Bricks is here. Hi, everyone. It's funny when I go down the list, they all sort of like slide in higgledy-piggledy, and it's kind of hard to tell sometimes when people slide in, it's very weird. So actually, interestingly, both of my guests are from the UK today, which I'm very excited about. And then I will be on London Bridge Bricks stream right after this one. So it's like I have like the whole UK experience today. I'm very excited for that. You may not know me. Hey, David Robinson is here. Hey, Dave, how's it going? You may not know this about me, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit of an Anglophile. Like I watched tons and tons of British TV shows when I was a kid and growing up and as an adult. And I'm like obsessed with British food and all of it. And I even actually, believe it or not, made desserts. I don't know if you knew this, Catherine. I made desserts for a I don't want to say British themed restaurant, but it was all, British food restaurant. It was called the Coachman. Doesn't exist anymore. It didn't last long, unfortunately, but that had nothing to do with the food and more to do with the management. But I will say that I was the dessert chef there. And when the review came out for the restaurant, it was not a great review, but my desserts, particularly my sticky toffee pudding, got rave reviews from the reviewers. So I was pretty darn proud of that.
I was trying to guess what you might have made. Eaten Mess is another great one.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me do that one. I wanted to do that one, and I wanted to do a really cool bread pudding, but they were like, no, you can't do those. So, the sticky toffee pudding was a big one. And then I ended up doing what was it? Oh, golly, now I can't remember. Oh, like a Guinness milkshake thing people were really into. I know. I thought it was weird.
I think that's weird.
That's what they asked for. They did it. So anyway, moving on from that. Hey, why don't we show our pins? Because I know that Catherine has one today, and I've got mine.
To get one today.
You what?
I actually have one today, which is astonishing because I'm not a pin collecting person.
Nice. Okay, here we go. Let's put you on the big screen.
Oh, me first.
Yes, me first.
So my very appropriately timed pin that I've just got in the mail all the way from America is my good friend over on Twitch, Set to Build, has made these super, super cute pins.
Oh, I need one.
It's so
cool.
Cute.
So that's so cool.
As soon as you mentioned about, and I remembered about the pin segment on this show, I thought, perfect timing. Just got this, and it's adorable.
So I've got, so let me see. So what I've got today, and I got to get Clicky to help me out here. From the D23 collection of pins that I got from the Paint Pusher and Minifig Chick, this is, well, now we call him Captain Rex, but this was the host of the Star Tours ride at Disneyland back in the day, before it was C-3PO, and it was voiced by Pee Wee Herman. So, and I know we had a whole discussion about that the other day.
Now I know who that is.
So I've got my Captain Rex pin today. So excited about that.
I feel like I want to put mine on, but my Taco Look t-shirt might. I don't want to.
And by
I'll need to get a new one.
Very good, very good, very good. Oh yeah, the real world calls. I know, Joel. I know exactly how that is. Believe me. And speaking of the real world calling, I am here to tell you that this coming up Wednesday will be our last Wednesday show, our last Wednesday live show, I should say. We will probably still be doing some other things, but I actually got a promotion at my job, and I am now going to be working on Wednesdays. So that's not going to be a possibility for us anymore, but we will still be here on Fridays and Sundays, and we'll still be doing build challenges, and I'll still be doing my Twitch stream on Tuesdays. So there's still plenty of chances to soak in the Tricky Bricks magic, if that's a thing that you're into.
Aren't we all?
So, all right. So, but now we do have another guest coming on in a little bit to talk about our main chat today, which is what the heck happened to Vidiyo? And it's a fraught subject, I know, but I'm interested to talk about it. And our guest coming up is going to be JakeStuds, who will be here in just a little bit. Now, interestingly, Jake was here talking to us on our first show about Vidiyo, which we did several months back. And so this should be a fun to have him come back around and talk to us a little bit about what
the beginning and the potentially end.
Yeah, potentially. We'll see.
That's the conversation, right?
So, oh yeah. So do you want to show us your train, by the way, before we dive into this next thing?
And I also wondered if I don't know if I can post links in the chat, so I don't know if that worked or not. But I don't know. Maybe Minifig Chick can help if it didn't. But Chris Chalice was asking about details of the show, because anybody who's watching who's in the UK should come to our show, like our first show in like 18 months.
Very good. Hey, Greg, London Bridge Bricks is here. How's it going? Isabel Louise, how's it going?
So I pasted a link in the chat, but I don't know if that worked. But if it did.
Yeah, I don't see it, but we can. If you send it to me in the private chat there, Catherine, I'll post it up in the chat there, because I can actually do that today, which I usually can't do when we're going through our regular software. Here we go. Bam. There we go. There's the link.
Excellent. So yeah, Chris and anyone else who wants to come along, then that's the link for our London Transport Museum show. But it's not in the main London Transport Museum that's in the city centre. Just in case anybody does try and go there, it's not in that one.
If you go there, you will be there by yourself, or at least not with Lego people.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, so what? Before Jake shows up and we dive into the meat of the subject today, I wanted to talk just for a minute about all of the sets that are coming out on August 1st, because it's absolutely mind-blowing. Oh, wait, no, we were going to look at your train. Sorry, got sidetracked.
No, so that's okay. That's okay. We can just keep building the suspense for video very slowly. But I've got my train here when we're ready.
Now I know that. Everybody. We're in trouble now. Somebody just slid into the green room, fresh off I think he probably ran from work. He was saying he was going to coming from work to join us.
Out of breath.
And Red Carnage is asking, when is the show?
It's on the 7th and 8th of August. Yeah, all the details are in that link that Flynn posted in the YouTube chat.
All right, and everybody, please welcome to the stream another import guest from across the pond today. Please welcome to the stream, Mr. JakeStuds. Hi, Jake. This isn't Twitch, Jake. We don't have the
wrong site again. How do I exit?
Stage left.
But before we dive into this, I did want to talk about, by the way, so now y'all have had all of this stuff for months now, but the US is finally getting all of the summer wave of sets, and they are all arriving Sunday, which is August 1st. And so I went and made a list of all of the sets, and I'm not going to go over them all because but I have 3 full you can't see because it's too bright. But I have 3 full pages of sets that are coming out. And I don't even know how many of them there are, but there's an absurd number of sets coming out on Sunday, including, and I think for me, the ones I'm most excited about, we've got the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Medieval Castle is coming out, the Ferris wheel, the Space Shuttle, and the Fish Tank. Now, y'all have had these for a while, right? You're like, oh.
We have. Give me one. Someone's knocking at my door.
What, his boss has knocked on his door being like, you left work too quickly, you didn't finish.
I know, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to come back. So there is also Lego Friends has, let me see if I can see here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, a whopping 18 sets. 18 Friends sets coming out. Now that includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the little cubes that they come with the little mystery animals, like the Friends cubes. But I've got to say, I am super yes, there you go. I am super excited about the about these Friends sets. The magical fun fair ones look so amazing, and there's so many really cool cool parts going to be coming out.
Is that the one with the big top?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've walked past that when walking past the Lego store a couple of times and being like, it's so tempting.
Yeah.
So tempting.
But Friends always gets discounted here, so I always wait.
What
I
doesn't?
haven't bought most of them yet, but Friends gets discounted like a lot. So it's like very few that I'm willing to buy like day one, because it only takes a month for Amazon to have them all 30% off, which is why I'm surrounded by Friends sets right now, because we've just reached that point.
I mean, Amazon's already discounted like here in the UK a bunch of Marvel sets that only came out last month.
Yeah. It's doomed.
See, I clearly need to move.
It's doomed. It's going to be cancelled.
I need to move to the UK just so I can like get in on the mega discounts and also get to hang out with the two of you. It should be amazing.
This is like a dream team stream, by the way. This is also the first time I think me and Cranky have actually interacted without there being a text chat in the way.
Oh,
Unmoderated by Isabel, you're saying?
Oh, unmoderated. Oh no. We're going to cause some absolute mischief.
Oh my goodness.
Flynn's just terrified.
All right, well, so just to kind of quickly go over some of the other stuff that's coming out, the Lego Ninjago Seabound sets, which I am super excited about. They are beautiful, and if you haven't seen them yet, you should definitely check them out. And I'm gonna actually, you know what? I forgot. I did have. Oh, it seems as if I've closed the window because I am apt to do that sometimes. But I did have some of the sets up that we can take a look at just to kind of scroll through, because wow, there's so much cool stuff. So let me see here. I'll try to get this back up again. Because they list them on the site. The new sets the ones that are coming soon come a little bit later in the go there. So, all right, here we go. I'm gonna share my screen here, and we are gonna take a look at some of these sets that are coming up.
How is everybody, by the way?
We're good. How are you, Jake?
I'm okay, thank you very much.
You're just moving very fast today.
So
apparently so.
Well, and I wanted to thank you both for joining me kind of last minute. I just want everybody to know, because I'm very open about how ridiculous I am. So I just want you to know that both Catherine and Jake agreed to come on like an hour ago, because otherwise it was just going to be me sitting here like staring blankly at the camera for an hour and a half. So thank them both for coming on and saving the show today.
Don't speak too soon.
Well, you saved me. I'll say that. Okay, so check it out. So we have some sort of, I don't know, big Star Wars thing happening. Some big Star Wars ship that's not gray, surprisingly.
It's still a triangle, though.
We've got the Volkswagen camper van is going to be coming out, which looks amazing. The another Star Wars set. We've got some Marvel sets. This I think is, of the Ninjago ones, maybe the least interesting in my opinion.
Oh no, I can't wait for that one.
No, it's cool, but I'm saying in comparison to some of the other ones, I feel like this bigger one is least interesting. But it does have all of these amazing figures, like that purple
one,
guy.
and the really silly looking underwater snake things. Yeah,
and I really love this. This here, the manta ray with the crazy printing on it.
I feel like more people are excited about the parts in this than the actual build. I don't hear anybody ever talk about the stretch limo submarine-esque thing that they've got going on there. Everyone's like, that manta ray! I must get that manta ray!
It's a good one. We've got the Bird of Paradise is going to be coming out. I know a lot of people are really excited about that. And here is that magical fun fair roller coaster. It looks so cool.
Mm-hmm. Was that dark as your hair piece? That's really all I want. If I could only have one thing out of this.
Wait, which one?
Or is it medium azure?
Oh yeah, these sets have got some amazing hair pieces in really great colors. It's got that cloth big top thing, those cones, which I love the look of those. And I gotta say, I love the design, and I just noticed it right here. This like little popcorn thing is so cute.
This set is also massive. Like the pictures don't do it justice. It is huge.
Yeah.
Like for what you're getting as far as price, like it's $99 there. I think it's only like 80. I think it's £89 here. I think
that's a lot more than $99. That's what I was saying earlier in the chat about the discounts. Is that like don't get your hopes up too much about our discounts because your sets are cheaper to start with. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's that. Well, I do love this new yellow part too. These rings look like it's going to be a really fun part to work with. I can't wait to see. Whenever we get new sets with new interesting pieces, I'm always interested to see what people like Jonas Kram will do with them because they always do such great things with the new parts. We've got Bowser's airship, which I know. I'm surprised now that Bricks O'Brien hasn't suddenly popped into the chat, but I know that he's...
Don't say it 3 times. Don't. You're going to tempt fate.
He is at Brick Fair, Virginia right now, so I don't think...
He can still do it. He will do it.
He might still be watching this on his phone.
He can smell it in the air. He's like, Mario, what? Where?
Well,
what?
And I don't know if you all saw it, but Brick Snaps, Martin from Alabama, who's a really fabulous builder, built a massive Princess Peach's castle, and it was amazing. And I'm not sure if he has it.
You're tempting fate.
What was that?
You're tempting fate. You hit number 2.
Oh, I know.
You said his name and Peach's castle. It's just the big L next, and that's it. You've conjured.
This one I'm really excited about, and I will say that we are going to be managing to get ourselves hands on this set, and we will be putting it together on Wednesday's show, our last Wednesday show. So really, really excited about this. Yeah, Martin's Castle is amazing. If you haven't seen it yet, check out Brick Snaps on Instagram. Now this one is this is the Ninjago one that I'm a little bit more excited about than the ship. Like it's still got it's got that same cool purple figure, but just the colors and this dragon are so cool. Yeah. And I really dig this piece. This like dragon round
talisman kind of thing.
Yeah, it seems to appear in like a couple of the sets. I think whatever is happening in the TV show, that seems to be a main plot point of some description. I don't watch the show, but I've seen that pop up quite a bit now.
And also this piece right here, this tan sort of ridged piece that's making up the chest of the dragon looks incredible. Just so many really amazing sets coming out. We Belle and Beast's Castle. Isn't this like the third one we've had? It's
I don't even, if you count like the mini, there's like a book and like the 4+ set and and
we've gotten this castle multiple times. Now these are the ones that I know a lot of people are really excited about. Is the new city the wildlife sets that's got the elephants and the new monkeys and all of the new. Now, have y'all gotten these yet?
We have them. I don't have them personally yet, but they're out here. Yeah.
I haven't. I've been trying to resist. I bought plenty of Lego lately, but I'm trying to resist the day one purchases to keep them as low as possible.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about in those sets though the plates for them. They're all the new road plates in different colors. Nobody's talking about that.
In Azure, I think I think that we there was a bit of debate about that when the pictures of them were first released because I'm not sure how I feel about those. The road plates, are they useful in Azure or green? I don't know.
I mean, I find that most pieces can end up being useful at some point. I mean, sometimes very specific, but I don't know. I always am able to find uses for certain things. I mean, there's some parts. I do have a bin of parts where I'm like, what am I ever going to do with these? But you never know.
Technic part. Sorry. That's what I call my Technic drawer.
Oh, okay. You're treading dangerous ground there, lady.
This really is getting spicy, isn't it? Jeez.
Okay, so we've got the Infinity Gauntlet is coming out. We've got this is one of the friend sets. It's not the Carnival one, but I adore the colors of this.
Paradisa 2.0.
What was that?
Paradisa 2.0.
Yes, very much. And I'm so thrilled at seeing how dots and the dots tiles have improved the look of so many things. Like just the ability to do this great little awning with the curved bottom. It's so cute. And they've been able to come up with such nice curves and angles using those. And you know what?
I love those parts.
And also too, and I know we've talked about this frequently, but the diversity of types of characters in Friends is I love that Friends leans in to not only various skin tones but also older characters. Like we get quite a few characters with gray hair, older people, and different skin tones and stuff. It's just nice to see that kind of diversity in these sets. And I hope that we see more of that, seeping into our regular minifigs. Hey, Jamae, how's it going? Welcome. Hey, Slug Biker. Cowboy Cornado is here. Very cool. Well, we could go on, and it would take the entire show probably to go through everything. But I just kind of wanted to skim through some of these. The Heart Lake City School is coming up.
Yeah, that's over there.
The magical Ferris wheel and slide, Mandalorian Starfighter. Wow, so many things. Now this one, I find these ones where they pair up the Disney princesses to be very curious. Like Belle and Rapunzel's royal stables. Please tell me how that makes any sense.
Is there some kind of Disney Plus crossover show that relates to, or
I don't think
they're just trying to milk these franchises for as much as they can?
I don't remember either of them having horses.
Well, Rapunzel, Flynn Rider in Tangled has a horse.
That's Flynn's horse.
Yes, I know. It's very strange. I don't know. But we're getting some more. Oh, this fire dragon attack looks cool. Just so many fun things. Oh, and of course, we've got these Mickey and Minnie and Friends sets coming out.
Sheep.
The 4+ ones, and they one of them actually comes with an exclusive Pluto. It's like the only Pluto figure that exists. So that's going to be pretty fun.
Well, apparently, I've been corrected by Isabel. Rapunzel has a horse.
Oh, she does. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, and Monica points out that they have all met each other because they're all princesses. So they met each other in Wreck-It Ralph, and they're all friends.
Okay, there you go. Oh, and here is the just two more that I'm excited about. This magical caravan, I'm excited for a couple of reasons. Lots of cool parts. I love the black and white horse. And it has an owl wearing a purple top hat. And how can you not love that?
Yep.
Just saying.
I love that set.
Is that molded or does that top hat come off?
It comes off.
I just want the purple top hat now.
Like all the Friends stuff.
All my minifigs to be wearing purple top hats, all of them.
But that means it's a new part, right? Because it's not a studded top hat, which you can put on top of a minifig head. It's got a pin in it.
Yeah, it's got a pin in it.
Which means you can put it on top of a hairpiece that has a hole in it. Like, this is a revelation that piece now.
Exactly. So basically all the Friends hair pieces, you'll be able to put that in. And there's that Azure hairpiece you were talking about again. Yeah. So cool. And then the other one is, I mean, there's so many, but here's that Mickey and Friends one that we were talking about before. And there's that exclusive Pluto figure. And we also get a couple of more Mickey and Minnie minifigs with different bodies and a new Goofy minifig. So, I'm hearing there was actually another Pluto from 2000. All right. So, what do I know?
On this stream
a whole lot
today.
of nothing.
Yeah.
But So the other thing, oh, this is such an awesome segue. The other thing that's coming out on August 1st here, which has been everywhere else, is Vidiyo, the second wave of video sets. Now, Vidiyo has been a controversial topic. I find it so weird that
it shouldn't be controversial. It shouldn't be.
Exactly.
It's Lego.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. I 100% agree with you. It's been controversial since it came out, and everybody has been doomsaying it since day one. Like literally, they came out. Now I know that for y'all, they've been on deep discount since day one. Like I don't think any person in in Britain has paid full price for a video set ever.
That's
paid
because
full
they were
price for one set.
£20. Like this, like these, like the beatboxes were £20. That's like basically $30.
Wow.
Like it was like there's clearly I don't know whether it was somebody like made a mistake or someone was deliberately trying to offset it to make it look cheap or whatever. But like day one, like you say, Amazon discounted it to be the same as the equivalent of RRP in the USA.
Got it.
So it wasn't even that discounted on day one. It was only a little bit less than RRP for you.
Interesting, because of course people seized on that immediately as that was the demise of the line.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people in the U.S. didn't. I certainly didn't realize it until right now. The way you're that you said is that they actually discounted it to be equal to what it was here in the U.S. Now I know I've been.
It has come cheaper. Like,
yeah,
I will admit that, but it was just that initial, it's definitely doomed because it's discounted. Like,
it's rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. Also, like, so I'm not sure how much like people know about like Lego's control over like pricing and things like that. Lego has an iron fist over all retailers, pretty much, about like the pricing of their Lego. Contracts are ironclad and negotiated on both sides. It being discounted to the rate it's being discounted, not just here in the UK, but also as we've seen in the US, it's all marketing. You cannot discount Lego in a third-party store without the big L saying, "All right, then, sure, fine." It's ridiculous that it has to be discounted because it's a dying theme within like day of launch.
Well, now it's funny. So a couple of people in the chat have said like, "What's controversial about it?" And maybe it's less controversial. Maybe that's not quite the right word. Maybe polarizing would be a better word to use. Just people really seem to either love it or vehemently hate it with the fire of 1,000 suns, which I still don't understand. Like, I mean, part of it, of course, is like the never-ending rage machine that is the internet. And, and also something that I've discovered lately, or not lately, but just in, as a content creator and seeing other people making content, it seems like you can generate tons of clicks and views and comments by being awful and like saying terrible things about everything. And I gotta say, it's something that really, really frustrates me are these folks who are like, we're big Lego fans and we got our Lego channel, but all they do on their Lego channel
is controversial. Cranky's left.
Oh, I know, she's like, I'm out. But all they do on their channels is vehemently complain about everything that comes out and pick it apart within an inch of its life. So take the negative takes on it with a grain of salt is what I'm saying.
I think it's also probably wise to look at what those content creators often say about other themes and what themes they do seem to praise and things like that. And it's to put it in the spiciest but least controversial way, the Grey Brick Brigade-esque type people. Like, it's they saw this and they saw the there's this imaginary like brick like price per piece number that AFOL seemed to have created for like making some like I don't know, like it must be some way as like as an adult of like justifying it to yourselves of like, oh, I'm buying something because I'm getting good value for money instead of buying it because you just enjoy it.
Right.
So like they saw the prices, they saw the price per piece and was like, big notes, because you can buy better themes for better price per pieces and get much more enjoyment. Why would you pay $20 for a minifig and like 30 pieces? It's like, well, that's not what it is. Like there is more to it. You're just putting yourself at this barrier for no reason because you don't want to explore the ecosystem that Lego and Universal Music Group here are building.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and also
speaking of that, though, like I totally agree with you, but
oh no, don't get me wrong. The prices are insane.
And I wasn't not even talking about prices. Regardless of prices, even if I bought it for £3, if I was buying it because I wanted the colors, the parts, the pieces, great. But if I was buying it because I thought that my kid could have like a safe TikTok alternative app that would work well and integrate with the Lego pieces well,
priceless. And
then I got it home, I'd be very disappointed.
Really? Fair enough. But would your kid be disappointed though?
Yeah, because all I've heard from people who've bought it for kids to actually play with is that it just doesn't work unless you have like the latest possible phone.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work. So if that's what you go in to expect, then you'll be disappointed.
Yeah, that is something that I touched on previously when discussing this. Lego and Universal Music Group highly overestimated the amount of children in the age bracket of which Vidiyo is kind of aiming for.
Like late primary school.
6 to 14-year-olds at absolute peak.
Yeah.
Of how many of those kids are going to, 1, have their own device, 2, have an up-to-date device, and 3, if their parents have a device, are the parents willing just to hand it over to their children?
Yeah, and
don't get me wrong.
Whatever.
Yeah, in the last 5 years, that number has grown, and you can see it just walking down the streets. More and more kids have devices, but I don't think people pay as much attention to what kind of devices they have. Yeah. There's probably more chance of these kids having like 10-year-old iPhones than they are having like the iPhone 12 right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the thing that I don't get is that one of the things that we often use to defend Lego making decisions that AFOLs don't like is that they do market research with children. And I don't really understand how they could have not figured that one out after having done market research with children, like who, what Lego is it's an expensive toy, but you can afford a lot of Lego for the price of an iPhone 12. Like, yes, they're not the same thing. Like, just because somebody buys Lego for their children does not mean they can afford the latest phone or prioritizes it or even wants their kid on a phone. Like, I really don't get, and I haven't heard from anyone, and I don't know if you guys have any ideas as to how that part of it has missed the mark so much.
I would say that's probably a big push from Universal.
Well, now before we dive too much deeper in, it is actually time for a pause. That's right, everybody. It's time for the pause that refreshes. It's Logan cookie time. That's a Lego jewel. You don't want to eat that. Hi, everybody. It's Logan cookie time. He's here, and the cookie's on the table, and he's freaking out. Say hi to all your friends. He's just like, give me the cookie. All right, here we go. And one. Yay. With shaky cam. And one more. Yay, Logan. And slobbering all over. Say hi, everybody. Have another cookie in there. Hello. Everybody, Logan cookie time. You get one more because you're such a good boy. And 3. Whoa. Whenever Richard's not here, I always end up throwing one on the floor, but it makes it a little bit easier for a peaceful exit. I mean, that's Logan cookie time. Yay, Logan. All right. Woo. All right. So I think one of the things I know that we've talked about with regarding the app and that kind of thing, and that and I know that like Richard is a big proponent of this, is that one of the great things about Lego is it's one of the rare things these days that you can enjoy without a screen.
Yep.
Right? Like you can just enjoy and be and build. And then by adding in this other angle, to some people, it seems to take away that aspect of it. But the other thing too is like, you're not forced to use the app, right? Like you can just enjoy the sets for what they are.
Yeah. And I wonder how, like, it feels like they have changed the marketing around it a little bit. It's Isabel was mentioning Hidden Side, where the entire packaging was based around a virtual world rather than a real one, which some people loved the design of, and other people just thought was like, it's not Lego anymore. But I think that the thing with Vidiyo is that like the packaging is covered with like pictures of phones and stuff.
Yeah.
So like I totally agree that there are plenty of parents who can give this to their kids and just say, look, it's just some Lego parts. But I think I could totally imagine many parents just saying, I don't want to give my child something that's covered in pictures of how it links with a phone, because they'll just ask me for my phone as soon as I give it to them, and I'm trying to get them off their phone.
Right. Well, and so I know what we discussed, actually, Jake, the last time you were on, and we talked about Vidiyo, a whole deep dive into Vidiyo, is that, and I was just discussing this with someone the other day, the level of minifig is like beyond.
Oh, like, 100%.
Like with the pieces that come with it, the printing. Oh, I need it. I need that in my life immediately. Look at that.
Well, you don't even need to full screen me. She fits perfectly between you guys.
Yeah, you're right. There we go. Very, very cool.
Yep.
So cool. Steve Parley makes a really good point. If you don't want to use a phone to run the Disney train, you'll have to buy a separate controller. Yep. Excuse me. And and now you were talking about the phone thing. We kind of got that also in a smaller way with Hidden Side, and we've gone on at length about how awful the box art, or like the packaging was on those, but there was always a phone, right? Like you're always looking at a phone. But I have to say, I'm not a Vidiyo hater. I certainly I tried the app. It wasn't for me because I'm not 9, which is fine. And I do find a lot of times that this manufactured outrage and hate that comes from people is often aimed at something that wasn't made for them in the first place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm acting like a 9-year-old about this because it's aimed at 9-year-olds and I'm not a 9-year-old.
Well, but again, like what kind of just getting back to what I was just saying, though, the quality of those minifigs is just beyond even CMFs, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they're absolutely beautiful minifigs, and even the ones that I don't necessarily care to have for myself are still beautifully designed.
They're so detailed. They feel like the kinds of things that AFOLs talk about that I'm not an expert in terms of how much goes into the manufacture of them, but people talk about dual molding and multi-layered printing and all of these things that we sort of say is like makes a minifigure more valuable.
Right.
They're all in there. All in one figure. So it's clearly a deliberate decision. Like, we all know that Lego could, in every city set, every minifigure could be incredibly detailed and have loads of dual molded parts, but they choose to do it differently. They've clearly deliberately invested that level of detail in these sets because maybe like Craigster was saying, maybe they're expecting that kids will see them on shelves in shops and get really attracted to that character.
Well, you know what's really funny? I have a feeling, and I just got this feeling, but I have a feeling that if they had released these same characters as a CMF line, everybody would have been clamoring for them. They would have been...
Even a CMF line that's more expensive. Like, if they'd taken it up to £5 each instead of £4 each for CMFs, and they had sold these figures... They would have
just the figures, just the figures on the stand.
Nothing else, just the figures. And they would have gone, and if you think about it now, the whole box is now going for £5. But people would have paid more than normal CMF price for those CMFs.
100%.
Absolutely, they would have.
Absolutely.
I would have.
Well,
I would have paid £5 for her holding her violin.
Yeah, easily.
Like, I would pay £5, which is like, 20 or 25% more than CMFs are already.
But, and too, also, like, people went cuckoo bonkers over the beat bits. Like, that was the other thing that people really, I think, didn't take into consideration was printed tiles. Because everybody always complains about stickers, but this came with, 16 printed tiles that were all pretty cool, I gotta say. Like, really, really cool artwork on them and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, not like simple artwork either. Some of them are like really intricate artwork printing, like that.
And have like silly jokes and references in them as well. Yeah, jokes and references that are not aimed at the 9-year-olds.
Oh, right, not at all.
For sure,
9-year-olds not getting a Space Invader reference or anything like that, or like they're just not.
Yeah, well, and it's so, and actually, you know what? I just realized we haven't actually addressed aloud yet what's actually happening with Vidiyo right now and why we're actually having this conversation. Jake, would you like to explain to everybody? Will you be the explainer and let everybody know what's going on?
Sure. So it was pretty much last week across the internet, across the Twitterverse. We all saw what came upon many of the headline from both LAN-affiliated, non-LAN-affiliated LEGO blogs that LEGO Vidiyo is cancelled, and there was big drama music and everything like that. And it was all based off speculation from one other blog post that had noticed that LEGO had turned around to retail partners and went, "Hey, we're not gonna release Wave 3 yet, okay? We're just gonna put this a little bit on a pause, and we'll get back to you on that one." So everyone went absolutely crazy for, in my opinion, no reason whatsoever. Like, they all just saw the headline, just went, "Well, that must be the news because that's the headline." When it was like clickbait on top of clickbait on top of clickbait that eventually came up with this line of LEGO Vidiyo is cancelled, which was, as we later found out, absolute bogus.
Well, now it's interesting because I don't know, like, have we ever seen something like this from LEGO before? Like, have we seen them put a pause, literally a pause on a line and be like, "Hey, we're going to retool this and come back again later"?
They probably have, but it's just things that we haven't been paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because people weren't manufacturing drama and getting their like retail friend who works at Target to give them the letter that was sent to like the marketing whatever, because people just didn't connect those dots or care.
Right. Well, I mean, I just remember, like, my biggest example that I always use for this is Elves. Like, Elves was kind of on its Elves was kind of on its way out when we started in the hobby. And so we were buying all of the, like, any ones we saw, we were instantly attracted to it. And we were like buying them. Yeah. And then I just sort of noticed that like the shelves were emptying and nothing was coming back. And then they canceled it extremely quietly. Like, it just wasn't there one day. And I feel like Hidden Side was a little bit like that as well. But now
that was like over dramatized by the same people, the same people and the same news outlets as they like to refer to themselves as,
You said
that have all been hating on Vidiyo. They just don't want it to change. And don't get me wrong, no one wants Lego to change, but Lego isn't changing.
Right. Well, and also too, I think a lot of the reason that people seized on that was, like seized on this announcement was because it was like, see, I was right. See, I told you. See, I was right.
Uh-huh. And they
without
weren't
actually knowing the whole thing.
Yeah. I've never seen Lego turn around so quickly and be like, whoa, what? Hold up. Let us explain ourselves here, you people. That was the biggest backhand slap back from Lego, just being like, sorry, you what? No, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful the way Lego phrased it and did it.
I've never seen things like that before. Because
well,
they tend to just allow it, they're definitely engaging and sort of,
Well, I think too, over the pandemic, we have seen a huge surge in Lego streamers, and people talking about Lego. I know, me, exactly. We're right there too. I just realized I need to put my glasses on because I'm the only one without glasses on. All right, so I got to be part of the crew. It's saying like we've seen this huge surge in Lego streamers over the past year and a half, and people being more and more vocal about things that they like or don't like, and I feel like I feel like that they're now making more of a point to address stuff like that when it happens, because there's such a proliferation of people talking about it, not just like on Facebook or whatever, but actually like writing articles, making videos, being very vocal about their like or usually dislike of whatever thing that's coming off or that's coming out.
I think Lego are being a lot more vocal about it as well, and they realize that, and I know that this is LAN affiliated, etc. I'm not, but like they used to slowly trickle things through the LAN, or LAN members used to have to speculate a lot more.
Yeah.
Now I think Lego, through history of some previous LAN members, has learned that maybe trickling information sometimes isn't the best, and sometimes it's just good to be like kicked down the door and be like, hey, big red square here, we've got something to tell you. And that's what they did.
Yeah. I don't know if that's, well, maybe now is not the time to start speculating as to exactly why, but I do wonder if they're much more, we're just going to respond to this immediately. It's just that they can just see just yet another tirade of 100,000 viewer videos about how Lego's done this, that, the other. And they just thought, don't want to deal with that, please. Let's just set the record straight immediately.
Well, good for them. I say, because there's so much talk that goes on about what they should or shouldn't do, and a lot of seemingly very. I've literally seen the same person or people say Lego needs to be better about sustainability, and then complain about the CMFs coming in a box rather than a foil bag.
Yeah.
So
I don't get it.
Or I don't want Lego to change. Lego, I was when I was a kid, Lego always came in plastic bags so you could see through them to see the parts. Like, I don't want paper bags. Like, that's no. Lego can never change, but it needs to be more sustainable. Right.
Now, so just to move to a more positive note here, let's talk about how awesome this second wave of video sets actually are. We did talk about this quite a bit when you were on, Jake. We actually went over every single set, but that's been a little while. Now, I know, Catherine, you actually have the beatbox there, right?
Yeah, and I
Or the
haven't even got as far as
sorry.
building it yet because I've been building beatboxes instead. But I brought this with me in case we had time, but we've been chatting too much.
I also have in my backlog the hip hop car. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but yeah, the hip hop car.
But I'm excited for this. Obviously, everybody, well, not everybody, sorry, but a lot of people are excited about the 1x5 plate that was released in this set. So that's just another thing, and all these the other figures. Again, like you say, not every figure is unnecessarily up your street or your style, but you can so appreciate the amount of character design that's gone into these.
Beautiful.
But I think it's the 1x5 plate is another subtle thing. I'd love to see the to sort of sit in a room with the designers for this set, for this range, and they're sitting there. You know, we're putting all these dual molded parts, these new figures. We're putting 1x5 plates in. We're putting printed tiles that are amazing. Like the AFOLs are going to love this, aren't they?
I don't think they cared about the AFOLs.
They
shouldn't.
No,
they
they
shouldn't
do.
need to.
No,
they
they
shouldn't
do.
have to.
I think they do. Like,
Sorry, I meant like
designer,
sat in the rooms going, what parts should we put in? What parts the AFOL's going to be excited about? I don't think that's a specific discussion.
They definitely do.
I have to say something here about this. We actually had, and this has been brought up a couple of times, but we had a Lego concept designer, Joel Baker, who worked on a lot of the new Friends sets that are coming out. Like Friends is his main line. He is also the person who came up with the concept for the Boombox set. And, somebody else designed it or, did the build of it. But he actually mentioned, and a couple of other designers we've had on have mentioned, that they do actually specifically talk about like what are some things that we could put in here because they are AFOLs.
That's great if they do. Then that's absolutely amazing.
Do.
I just can't picture a meeting room where they're like, oh, they've all been complaining about the lack of 1x5 tiles for absolutely.
Yeah, it's not like it's not in response to complaining. I think it's people, like Justin, for example. Justin Ramsden you had on the show as well, Flynn.
Yeah.
That specifically say, oh, when I was an AFOL or am an AFOL now. Oh, I'd love it if this piece was recolored in brown because it'd be so useful if it was this. And, oh, I need that piece hidden somewhere in the middle of this build. Let's make it brown. Like, they have 100% done exactly that. I don't think it's as negative as, like, oh, there's loads of YouTubers complaining about it, so fun to it. I think it comes from more personal inspiration than, like, do you think the Lego, a lowly designer saying, do you think the Lego powers would finally let us do a 1x5 plate? Like, let's try that. I like to imagine that that's how it went.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of that goes on, and I think that was one of the great things about talking to some of these designers is they really do have the bigger AFOL community in mind often when they're doing stuff like this, and they do make a point to like. And I know Joel has said, we try to bring back a piece that has been like not used for a really long time because we hear people are into it. I mean, we're still not going to see a goat anytime soon, but I think,
I don't know. There's been a lot of media with Lego goats on recently. Lots of things where a little goat has just popped up every now and then. I think we're due a goat.
Yes.
Oh, well, can we talk about there was that moment where somebody found a picture of Wolverine on the packaging of the new Marvel figs and everybody like had a cow. And I was like, what? It's a picture. And like Wolverine's been in sets before. So
I can guarantee the only reason that Wolverine is on there is because they have previous stock pre-drawn images. And we're just like, we've got to fill it with something. It's Marvel.
But yeah, no, I really feel like this was an unfairly maligned line of a theme, and if I may be so bold,
go on. Be so bold.
If I may be so bold, I find that the most of the internet or just most of the negativity aimed towards themes are ones that are not considered masculine, that aren't Star Wars, that aren't, city or whatever. It has to be like anything that's got like bright colors and fun. Friends is a great example. Video and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't usually get this spicy, but I really feel like a lot of it has to do with that. I know. Watch out, everybody. See, Richard's not here, and I'm.
You're getting crazy. I mean, I don't know where these ideas are coming from.
It just caused another heat wave in the UK. Wow.
But
I mean, am I completely off base here? Like,
no, not at all. Although Star Wars fans love to hate on Star Wars as much as anything else.
This is true.
That said,
this is true.
Like Lego campaigning for Lego to make things for them that Lego then makes for them that then they complain about the next thing, like whatever. But I think you're totally right.
The lack of detail, though, is the thing, and it's. I just don't think they understand that Lego itself is an art form. Like, it cannot be as detailed as what's in George Lucas's head. It can't be. It just can't. Full stop. Like, so stop.
But you talk about detail. Sets like Vidiyo and Friends and Elves have really great detail.
Yep.
So
because it works with the art style.
And all three, it's funny to have watched like the evolution of Elves from being like one that only certain people cared about to now that it doesn't exist anymore, everybody's like, oh, how did I miss out on it? And
like, how did I not notice it at the time? It was there.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many Lego fans I've seen say things like, I didn't buy it because I don't like mini dolls. I didn't buy it because I'm not into the colors. And to me,
I'm not really into mini dolls either, so I just have a disembodied bag of them that they sit here. Didn't stop me buying any of the sets. I've never really paid
attention really to the sets until like jumping in head first to the AFOL community properly. I've just never really sort of like paid much attention, but now I have. I'm like, oh wow, these are really
yeah.
I can't decide which one's gonna be the first one, but it's gonna happen at some point. It's gonna happen.
I think the eBay might decide that for you, because the first wave of Elves was already incredibly expensive on the secondary market before Elves even ended.
Yeah.
So that might decide for you what your first Elf set's going to be.
I love that people in the chat are like, I love spicy Flynn. I don't get spicy very often, at least not on the show.
You guys need to head over to Twitch. That's where Flynn gets real spicy.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. Get him on someone else's show.
Yeah.
And Brickanista makes a good point. Like, it's not, and Cowboy Cornado, it's not like certain people will always find a reason to hate on anything. Yeah. But I think the point that I was trying to make is that, and maybe hate isn't the right word. I feel like
there's a systemic reason why certain themes and certain lines seem to gain more attraction from a negative point of view than a
there you go, and straight up ignoring, right? Like just straight up ignoring of Friends because that's for girls, right? Like, and
people point at the whole thing of like Lego have made big efforts to be like, well, Lego isn't gendered. Like, you can get any set, and like, yes.
I mean, I do have problems with how Friends is done. And obviously Paradiso was better. I'm not super happy with how they're going about it, because it's a bit the way that every single box has to be light purple is a bit at odds with their whole thing of like Lego is completely universal and not directed in any direction. But the point still completely stands that anybody can walk into the shop and buy some.
Yeah, but also I don't think people when they're arguing that point of like, but Friends is clearly aimed towards a stereotypical cisgendered female audience. they also do it to the same for other things as well. Like the Marvel marketing is very much like aimed towards a cisgendered, stereotypical male audience. Like they do it on both sides. It's just they're trying to find the nitty pitty like little things just for the sakes of trying to cause
it's
a little bit of
isn't it?
Unhealthy chaos.
Right. Well, and I think this also brings us to a great point about the "Everyone Is Awesome" set. Seeing set, which again, absurdly ridiculous. I want to. Oh, Jake, that is an unfortunate freeze frame. Oh, it looks like Catherine is also frozen. Oh no. Both of my guests are frozen. I think there's a giant internet outage in here. I'm going to just poor Jake. There. When they come back, I will invite them back again. I don't know what happened here. We got so spicy that we froze the internet coming out of the UK. Oh, there she's. Catherine's back.
What just happened? Sorry, it just all went wrong.
No, you both froze at exactly the same time, and
really,
you looked thoughtful. Jake had a very unfortunate.
Oh dear. I don't know what happened, but oh well. Let's hope that fixed it.
Yeah, I'm also. This is being really weird. Yeah, I just had something weird happen with StreamYard, so I'm not quite sure what happened. Okay, but I think we're back.
Right.
We're good. And Jake will be back with us in just a minute, I think. We're good. All right, so I forgot. Oh, yeah, so we were talking about the Everyone Is Awesome set, and oh, good.
Hi.
You had a very unfortunate freeze frame there, I gotta say.
Oh, did I?
If YouTube have YouTube added clips yet? Can we clip it in?
YouTube need to. There's some golden ones you can get.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so no, Mairead, it's definitely not on my side. It's I'm getting a message about Facebook. It's a Facebook thing and a weird because we're streaming to multiple platforms. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. We were talking about the Everyone Is Awesome set and the polarization that it created amongst certain parts of the community. It's a set that meant so much to so many people, and that so many other people felt like they had to crap on. Just because. I guess we're supposed to say dunk on. Sorry, everyone.
No, crap on was the right word. It has the right amount of emphasis on it. Yes. People saw this as the Lego political move of a company that has founded itself upon what it states as family values. And a bunch of those are not being political, not doing war products, etc., etc., etc. People saw this and went, "Oh, they're being political again! Boo!" And they're not. They're not. Family values has changed and evolved over time. Mm-hmm. One of those family values is it's okay to be gay. Gay rights is Lego rights. Yeah. It's fine.
Or it's not politics either.
It's not politics.
Human rights are not politics. So Lego is still perfectly keeping within their. It's not politics.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and they even came out and said as much, which I thought was a great statement.
100%.
Yeah. Exactly. But like you say, people have the one running theme through all of so much of the hate is, can't you understand that it wasn't aimed for you? And therefore, why are you getting mad about something that's not aimed at you? And that applies to things like 4+ sets and Disney Princess sets and so on, which people seem to have not much of a problem with the fact that 4+ and maybe a bit of a problem, but not the same way. You know, Disney Princess sets existing doesn't seem to upset them as much. But it's slightly different with the Everyone Is Awesome, because Lego was actually saying like, no, I am putting this in your face now. Thank you very much. You know,
Right.
Which was it was a deliberate move that I think that's what attracted even more of the kind of response, because there's the sort of subset of haters who can just do it's not for me and I'll leave it alone. Even they got pulled in as well.
So to kind of bring this back over to Vidiyo, I'm curious. I'm curious what your thoughts are about what did happen. Like, why are we getting this pause? What is it that what do we think is the reason why we are getting this pause and not just a straight up cancellation?
I think it's two reasons. One, they saw the feedback from communities in a wide age range where they were like, yeah, the app isn't like up to scratch to what it should be, sort of thing. Like, don't get me wrong, AR technology is quite new technology, especially to have it on a mobile phone. That's like crazy. That wasn't around 3 years ago, and you can now do that with Lego. But it's very hard technology to get right. People had high expectations, and they just weren't met.
And the marketing fed those high expectations as well.
100%.
It wasn't just that people were unreasonably expecting things.
No. Yeah. I think also then the second thing is Universal wants to give it a revamp. Universal wants to be able to push different kinds of music in different ways. Because I think this is what a lot of people are forgetting about Vidiyo. It is a licensed theme.
Yep.
This is co-owned and co-authorized by the Universal Music Group. This isn't just Lego having a bit of fun.
Well, and I also think, though, that's a really great point, because I personally hadn't considered that it is actually a licensed theme. And as we all know, licensed themes are always more expensive than, that's why a Star Wars set is always with the same amount of pieces is going to be more expensive than, say, a Friends set with the same amount of pieces, or a Ninjago set with the same amount of pieces.
It costs a lot of money to get Billie Eilish on your phone for that.
Right. Well, and then I was just going to say that is something that absolutely contributed to the price point that everyone was complaining about, was this the licensing fees. And it's funny that I never even considered that.
Especially for the music that they had on there for this first 1.5, 2 wave, whatever you want to describe it as. The range of music on there wasn't, like, surprisingly, in a good way, wasn't just sort of the latest hits or like music they want to push to like maybe get some radio play. They were tracks from like Billie Eilish, Dua Lipa, but then also going all the way down to like Elton John. A 9-year-old is not caring about what Elton John is coming out of their phone, but Elton John was on there. Like, that is an expensive license. Elton John is, it's a lot of money. Elton John was like, hey, yeah, I like Lego too. You want to put my music in Lego? Sure. Where's my paycheck?
Yeah.
Well, wow, that's so funny. I did not at all consider that.
And music
we're happy to
licensing is a
accept
lot.
that any license, we're happy to accept the fact that Marvel or Disney or someone, if someone says like, oh, a set got cancelled, or there was drama about like a scene from a movie that got moved and a set was removed, or all of that kind of stuff happens behind the scenes, and then some of it we find out about. And we don't think twice about that, do we? We say, oh, like Disney are dictating that thing, or or Marvel are dictating the other thing. And we kind of just let Lego off with a pass and just assume that these horrible, big, evil, massive companies are just dictating everything. Like, since when is Universal not one of those? Like, Universal is in the Disney leagues.
Well, but
it's bigger than Disney. Universal.
But adding on to what you said, actually, I'm not going to say everybody. I shouldn't make big sweeping statements. A lot of people, especially Star Wars fans, got themselves all in a tiz about changing the name of the Boba Fett's ship.
Boba Fett's
Boba Fett's starship is now what it's called. and we all know what it was called before, but everybody blamed Lego. I'm saying everybody again. A lot of people blamed Lego, and then it turns out that it was actually Star Wars. The Star Wars, I don't know if it's a company, the Star Wars, whatever you want to call it, brand, told them this is what you're going to call it now.
Yeah. And can you remember, because I've forgotten, I think, was that another one, just like this video announcement, was that another one where Lego immediately defended themselves? Or did that come out in a different way? Because it seems to ring a bell that it's sort of like, the next day.
That came out during, I believe, the AFOL LAN conference that they did.
Yeah. Okay. Was it a question that was responded to then? Because it was very quick. It was a very quick turnaround from LegoCon to sort of that like defense isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. And so I was wondering if it was similar to the video press release where they're actually saying, "Hang on, we're not just going to roll over. Like, let's just communicate this really clearly and upfront immediately."
Yeah, and they've definitely been doing that. They've been definitely making those statements a lot lately, and I applaud them for doing that. I gotta say, really just like coming out and saying, no, this is because there are so many misconceptions out there, and we all love Lego, but it is like a multi-million-dollar, the biggest #1 toy company in the world. Right. And more goes into and I think it's easy to say, oh, Lego did this, Lego did that, and forget that actually Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, which are really all Disney, have a say in as much of that. Right. Like when people say stuff about like, oh, Lego spoiled the new Marvel movie by putting out this set with these scenes in it. I was like,
those are very particularly chosen scenes to do certain things. I think we've got, like, I assume you're talking about the Spider-Man sets, for example. It's not just Lego who have like revealed those like suits and scenes and characters. There were other toy companies that released them around the same time as well. Other collectible companies, which are as big as have as much pop culture reference and like focus within like the Venn diagram of like Lego people and like, for example, Funko Pop people. That's a big like overlapping. So.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Speaking of, hi, Cy O'Connor, Mr. Funko Pop himself.
Because they Lego so deliberately not Lego, the licenses. I can't remember what it was because I don't remember all the details for Marvel sets. But there was a Marvel set where I've forgotten what they're called. Some of the bad guys, like the Lego set had like the wrong number of arms. Do you know what I mean? I've forgotten the name of the characters. I've got a bunch of them, but I just use them for parts. I've forgotten. Somebody will tell us in the chat, Flynn, if you don't know. But anyway, there was like the kind of bad like mob character that there were multiple of. Like they had the wrong number of arms, and everyone was like, when the film came out, oh, how on earth did Lego get that so wrong? But it's like, well, because it's the film company that controls so massively what information Lego gets, even at a design stage, never mind right up to the release stage. So that's the point that you were just making, is that like the film company is entirely in control of what information they release to Lego for design of the sets. And given that we've had such circumstances as Lego getting a set that doesn't even look like the scene because of what's been released, the fact that there's a scene that's seen as a leak or a spoiler is like, well, clearly they decided that on purpose.
Well, also too, I think we have to remember that movies take years to make. And Lego sets are in development for years. So they may be basing what they've done off of drawings, like concept art, and then things change, things end up on the editing floor, things can end up on the editing floor up to weeks before a movie comes out in the movie theater. Right? Very quickly. But sorry, again, we've sort of flown off again, many rabbit holes. But I do want to go back to the point of what did happen with video. Now you started going on, you started talking about this, Jake, and then we sort of like got off topic here with licensing and stuff. But why do you think that we are seeing this pause? Like, what happened? What went wrong, or what went right?
I think it's simply Lego used video, and Universal was very keen to play the market in this way as well, to test a different way of launching a theme. The beat boxes that, for example, what Cranky's building currently right now, those being launched first at the price level that they were, and with the parts that they have and things like that. So I have this theory, and it's been highly disputed and debated and whatnot amongst the video naysayers and yay sayers. But I think I'm quite impressed that I managed to say that correctly. I think the beatboxes are they make a loss on those beatboxes. They are loss leading products, and that's something that companies put out to entice an audience, give them a little taste, and be like, "Ooh, look at this! Isn't this nice? Isn't it nice? You want a little bit of this? Well, if you want a little bit more, here's all the rest of it." And that's kind of what they've been doing with this. Hence why I see this second wave of video as more of a wave 1.5. It's the same wave. They've just spread it out. They've thinned it out a little bit more, and they've been testing that market of like, okay, can we get away with doing maybe a launch of 4 or 5 smaller sets, and then later on launch the bigger sets to hook people in, especially with something like a new theme, but that can very easily translate into bigger themes and bigger licenses, such as Star Wars and Marvel and things like that.
Right.
And I think we've kind of seen something similar with Star Wars as well. Like the previous, I think this year, all the Star Wars waves have been split in 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, there was 2 winter waves, there's been 2 summer waves, or there's going to be 2 summer waves. They're not exactly launching like an equal amount of products of like what you would consider small, medium, and large sets. And I think video was very much a test of like, okay, if we crank this to 11, how much can we sort of test that marketing strategy of slowly introducing this ramp of expensive sets and things like that.
Well, now, do you think that maybe that might have backfired a little bit?
To A-folds, yes.
Right.
Because A-folds look at Lego in a completely different way to how kids look at Lego. Kids walk in a Lego store and they just see Lego. They don't care when it's out. They don't care about the release dates. They don't care about how expensive it is. They just want the Lego. So I think they were seeing if they could introduce smaller products to the kids to get them hooked on the idea of this is what we do with the phone. Because with Hidden Side, it was big grandiose sets and medium grandiose sets that. I mean, I don't have any, but from what I know of, they were not exactly the easiest of builds, I believe. Some of them were a little bit easy. Pardon?
They weren't super easy. I built a lot of them.
Yeah, some of them were a little bit more complicated, whereas this is sort of, it's going, okay, what if we start with something a little bit easier for everybody?
Well,
we get
and
a little bit interested.
Kids, like, were they trying, or I don't know if they managed or not, are they trying to get kids who are on their phones doing music videos all the time, are they trying to get those kids to build something out of Lego? And so they're doing something that's simple and accessible, and it's a character that you can carry around with you to school or whatever. You know, is that really what they're trying to do? Are they trying to pull people in from that side rather than actually pushing Lego fans out into the sort of Universal world? Like, how equal is this? You know, is what are Universal trying to get? You know, are Universal trying to get every child who plays with Lego to get their app and get views on their videos, their music, their songs? You know, or are Lego trying to get kids who are normally into music into Lego, or both? I'd be really interested to hear the sort of, if anybody knows, if anyone at Lego knows which one of those happened more.
I think it's Lego trying to get kids who are into music into Lego more than the other way round. People who are into music, like myself, I saw the announcement of Universal partnering with Lego. I was like, yes, this is what I want as a music fan. Not because I'm a Lego fan, because I'm a music fan. I'm excited by what music, what technologies and whatnot music can push.
Yeah.
I think Universal saw a way to market hits to children with that in a very selective way, because the music industry has lost control of what is pop music. The music industry's lost control of it. No longer do people listen to the radio. They're not listening to music curators. They're not being fed the music that the record labels want them to listen to.
People in their basement have got millions of Twitter followers and they just drop a link to a song.
Yeah, I mean,
and Universal's not in the picture. You know?
Yeah, and we've got evidence of that in the rise of new music genres, like, and I'm gonna say it, which might disgust some people, like SoundCloud rap. Like, SoundCloud rap is a complete genre that is sounds absolutely like to what people would consider rap, absolutely atrocious. It's overly produced, shiny beats with very mumbly, talky people who sort of rap in their microphones a little bit like that.
Oh my god, it's a hit! It's going to go to number 1.
But from that, we got some absolutely massive artists, because communities formed around these and went, no, we're not listening to Lady Gaga. I want to listen to Post Malone, because that's where Post Malone came from. He came from like the SoundCloud rappers and whatnot, and now he's making massive hits.
As long as he takes a shower, I'd be fine.
But it's a way of Universal trying to grab a little bit of an audience, trying to hook somebody and be like, hey, do you remember we make music? We do these things? Come over here. Like, listen to what we want you to listen to. You like Billie Eilish? Yeah, well, here's some more. Take it. Take the Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
I've never heard one of her songs, but
I can guarantee you have.
Yeah, you have. You just don't know about it.
I guarantee you that I have not. I promise you. Because again, like you were just saying, like I don't listen to the radio, like as such. Like I have my like my streaming services, but I also base my like Pandora, which I listen to a lot, but I tell it a song that I like, which admittedly is like from the 70s or the 80s
or the 20s.
And so I get music that's related to that.
But what I mean is that like, you've been to a shop or like in a taxi or like in a supermarket.
Not in the last year and a half.
Yeah, but like I think the point is that like before that, like you've been to a coffee shop, you've heard Billie Eilish, because those, like I don't know, like Universal is the last place that it's got holdouts onto are like retail, for example, where it has that control, because like Jake says, it's not every family doesn't have the radio on every morning anymore. So the last holdouts that places like Universal have are things like public venues.
No, I think that you're underestimating the musical rock that I live under. Like, I seriously, like...
I think you're just not paying enough attention to your surroundings. How often do you walk into traffic? How often does Richard have to pull you back from getting hit by a car by accident?
Honestly, y'all, seriously, like, I don't...
that was the I'm going to change subject, y'all.
No, it's not at all. I know you think it seems impossible, but honestly, like, I live a very sheltered musical existence. Like, I listen to what I like to listen to. When I go to the grocery store, I always get a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach because they're like playing The Cure. Like, they're playing the music I listened to in high school now at the grocery store. When there is music at the grocery store, which there hasn't been in a really long time. But I mean, maybe you're right, but I don't like, I haven't gone to a shop in a really long time, except for, say, like the grocery store. I don't listen to the radio on my way to work or back from work. I listen to my curated music. And so I don't really have a lot of exposure. And I mean, a part of this is, okay, and maybe you're right, but I'll give you the example that the other day we were talking about the Andrews Sisters, which apparently nobody like that I know has ever heard of before. But then when I said, oh, well, do you know this song? And then somebody was like, oh, wait, I know what I think Set to Build was like, oh, I remember that song from Fallout. And I was like, oh, so you've heard it.
That's exactly Jake's point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's exactly
you've heard
my
Billie
point.
Eilish song.
I am agreeing with you. But at the same time, I really haven't heard modern music lately. I mean, I didn't hear a Lady Gaga song for I don't know how long after she was popular until like one time I accidentally heard it in a taxi, like you're talking about. And the only reason I knew it was her was because she said her own name in the song.
Yeah.
Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulo.
Sorry, I feel like about 3 people hadn't get that. Anyway.
Well, the thing is, I consider myself to be pretty pop culture savvy, and I know who she is, and I know like the trajectory of her career. But if you were to play me a song, I would be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Universal have done this for new technologies and new ways of exposing different markets to music.
Yeah,
it's a very easy way to curate it. And don't get me wrong, like the music industry, it has cottoned on to the fact that people 100% don't know what record labels release music and things like that now, and they're pushing platforms to, now on Spotify you can now search by record label for music, which was something that's only been introduced like in the last like year and a bit. There's a thing which is like not quite payola, but is payola, that is kind of being worked into the streaming platforms. For people who don't know what payola was, it was a kind of like a really dodgy thing by the music industry where they would pay radio stations a lot of money to circulate their music and their music only. Like at several points in history, you can point to a radio station and go, oh, that was the year where Sony owned blah, blah, blah. Because they only played Sony music records. That's all they did. And there's kind of a thing like that happening in Spotify. Kind of. It keeps going backwards and forwards, and it is or isn't happening. And it's all very complicated, like the music industry likes to be.
Is that what you're saying? That
Pardon?
Universal are like all music in Lego is Universal music now. Is that what they're saying now? So they're getting that little bubble and sort of securing. It might not be a big market, but it's like they're grabbing that market for themselves.
The more little markets you can grab, the bigger pool you actually have. and a bigger control over the fringe communities, which eventually become the pop culture. Like it wasn't cool to be a comic book nerd 20 years ago, but now everybody watches Marvel movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you.
I think someone else said that as well.
Cornado, yeah. So
yeah, a couple of others. So
and I gotta say, like, I was, jokingly being self-deprecating about my musical knowledge, which is, vast pre 1990. But I heard a song, came across my Pandora the other day from an artist I really, really like. And I was like, oh, this song is so great. And I found the video for it. I was like, oh my God. And I, for the first time in years, had like an impromptu dance party in my living room. And like, it was so freeing. First of all, I got to say, Logan was very confused. Richard was out of the house, or he likely too would have been very confused. And I was like, oh, this is great. I love this. Is like a poppy song. I'm going to jump up and down. I'm going to dance. I had so fun. And then earlier today, I sent the clip of the video to Catherine over Discord. I was like, I'm going to go listen to this song now because it makes me really excited. And then I went and looked at the video, and it was from 2011. I was like, wow.
I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize.
Oh, look at this. Thank you. Support from our younger viewers. Bubs and Lava Bat says, I know who the Andrews sisters are. Love Chattanooga Choo Choo. Thank you. Thank you for that, Bubs. Everybody's
supporting Flynn's ego better than I could in the last time we talked about this, and I was just, who? I'm sorry. I'm very uncultured about modern and historical music entirely, so this is an education for me.
Well, thankfully, we have Jake here. To tell us
what, take from 1990 onwards.
Well, and the funny thing too is, like, I was a DJ in the 90s, and so I do know some, I guess I should say, my musical knowledge. Like, I'm familiar with the stuff that I played, but my real musical knowledge comes in like the 80s and back, and going all the way back to like the 20s. Like, I'm really, really into older jazz music, and a lot of those, like, I enjoy big band. I like, I listen to a lot of the and admittedly, I am young for the music that I like to listen to. Like, I listen to music that my grandparents were listening to, right? Like, but that's always been a thing for me. I've always been into things that people much older than myself were into.
Yeah, I grew up on music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, because that's what my mum listened to. Like,
right.
Yeah, exactly. I listened to like the Pet Shop Boys and Supertramp a lot more than I listened to, like,
yeah, my
or
whole
the Spice
thing was
Girls.
like the Who and like the Sex Pistols and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's and the Beatles, like, it's music that I 100% have not lived through in any way, shape, or form. But my musical knowledge isn't like great. My music industry knowledge is better than my music knowledge.
That makes sense about what you were saying before about how Universal are trying to use video to get into the like 8 or 9 year old audience, because 8 or 9 year olds are like a slave to YouTube, basically. Apparently, that's and so if Universal, if they then hear a song on the video app and then they go search for that song on YouTube, that's feeding in them, their friends, and they send other people their YouTube video, and that's kind of pulling out that age group and getting their teeth into.
It's the exact same way as Flynn talking to his Pandora and saying that he wants a certain song, and then it playing a radio playlist of songs similar. Then you guys going away and searching it and finding the music video that turned out to be from 2011. Like, it's the exact same thing, but this time it comes with some plastic bricks.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But it's just one more way for, on both sides of the partnership, everyone's just trying to make some more money.
Of course,
it's all what it comes down to.
Yeah, I am. So, I mean, and going back to that question that I asked to Jake, Catherine, what do you think is like, what has created this pause in the video line? Like, why are we seeing this like pause and then return, possible return? Like, will it actually return? Like, I don't know. What do you think about this?
So, well, like I said a minute ago, like I'm very uneducated on all of these topics, so I definitely think that like Jake's view of what Universal's partnership with Lego is trying to do is much more educated than mine. But to be honest, there is a bit of a cynic in me that is a little bit like, okay, but maybe it didn't. Like maybe it just hasn't made the money that it was supposed to make for one or other of the partners, and this is just a kind of like it's all a bit sneaky because actually they're just like, yeah, sorry, this isn't really working out, and they're just trying to sort of slide it out. Like I think there is room for that being what they're doing, because I like my experience of the app is so horrendous. And others that I've seen and people who've talked about their kids wanting the sets and trying to play with the app and then just going back to Lego. These are people who are Lego fans, so their kids don't mind that they tried the app for a minute and then they just enjoy the Lego set. But I feel like there'll be loads of music kids that they're trying to get into Lego and it's not worked.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know enough about it to be really sure. But I wouldn't be surprised that as much as we love Lego and we like to not just immediately assume that they're like an evil corporate whatever, compared to companies like Universal, I would still be a little bit cynical about reading their press release about all their reasons. And, are all of these really what's going on? It could just be that
it's healthy to be cynical about those sorts of things. But also I think there is a overemphasis from the AFOL community on the whole it not selling well. Like of course the thing that hurts any company the worst is its wallet. But because it's discounted or because they're putting a pause on it doesn't mean it didn't sell
as much money as they planned. Because that's about Lego controlling the level of discount is that they might did they really ever plan that they were going to make £20 for every B box? Did they, but it's still and I will 100% agree with you that my cynicism is that there is still potential that press release from Lego was all just fluff. But the point is that our perception of what is on a shop shelf doesn't always correlate to a Lego theme making enough money or as much money as they had planned it to, or living for the length of time that it had planned to. And we've seen now with lots of themes that Ninjago was only supposed to be a year long. It's like the classic example, it was just, let's see what happens and see if this gets popular. They don't all of some of my best loved classic themes. I was recently talking about Ice Planet and Explorians, for example, early 90s space themes. There's maybe not even double figures of number of sets from that theme that ever existed. And then, but plenty of the naysaying AFOLs are happy to sort of laud those as classic age of Lego. It's like, okay, but there was only 9 sets in that theme.
Right. Well, I feel like... I mean, obviously, we'll see what we will see. More is known, type of thing. But I mean, and a couple of people did mention in the chat that they're going to be retooling the app, which is probably well needed. I think there are some improvements that could be made there, at least from what I saw. And again, being a musically ignorant person, I would love to see some more music that goes back a little bit further. And to your point, yes, a lot of kids do listen to the music that their parents listen to. So why don't we see some, it doesn't always have to be, all of the auto-tuned music, which it seemed like it was when I went on the app and was listening. It was every single song. Okay, again, I'm making sweeping statements. A lot of the songs had a lot of that sort of element to them.
But then Jake said Elton John was on there, so
Elton John uses
and
a lot
like
of
Elton
auto-tune.
John's
well, okay, sorry.
arguably.
That was in response to the like having older music.
But it was his song. It was again arguably one of his worst songs in my personal opinion. Like there are so many great Elton John songs, and that's the one they chose. Although it was probably the cheapest one.
Yeah. I actually don't know which. Like, is it like a current release from
I'm
him
Still
or something?
Standing,
or
which is like his 80s. I call it his trying to be relevant in the 80s song. Yeah, I mean there were some artists that I truly love from the 70s who tried to make that leap into the 80s to more or less success. And I have to say that I much prefer and I know a lot of people, and I'll probably get in trouble for this, a lot of people love 80s David Bowie. I am purely in the 70s Bowie camp. Like, absolutely. Same thing with Elton John. Like, I'm in the 70s Elton John camp. The 80s was a weird transitional time for music, as I'm sure we can all agree.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
This is an interesting take. Even if they fix the app, the Vidiyo brand is now tainted, so doubtful the community will embrace it when it returns.
Well, that bit of the community that's always horrible about everything. Fine, I don't care what they think.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing that the funny thing too is like I work, I hear people talk about Lego a lot, and I've heard a lot of parents who are not like people who aren't obsessive Lego fans like us. They don't know about this stuff. They don't know about the latest press release. They don't
kids
know
have the attention span of a week. Like the next wave will be a completely new and different thing, and no one's going to remember. Even if they did know any of the negativity, which they don't, they wouldn't remember it.
Right.
Like.
Well, and it's interesting too that the kids who are enjoying Vidiyo now will be in a different age bracket when this retooling happens and it comes back out again. And it's interesting to see. I'll be interested to see how they embrace it, and if they do. So,
yeah, and and back to the thing of how could we have seen whether or not Vidiyo was going to be #cancelled or whatnot. You could clearly see that it wasn't in the pipeline for it to be cancelled by the way it was being marketed in the ways that it was. Like they had set out a touring music festival with LA across all the different whatever it is I can't spell across all the different Legolands, and it's everywhere. I think I saw on Twitter the other day that it's on the headrests of Danish trains at the moment as a piece of advertising. Like it's not dead.
I would love. Well, that doesn't. I would love to just know. It's like, does your average Danish kid see that and be like, yeah, I want to go to the Legoland music festival show with that creepy llama?
As a kid who grew up in the 90s, in the Nickelodeon era of Gunge and pop stars, yes, they do.
Yeah.
Because that's the point, right? Like, so we're back to the same point again.
I just wanted to read Mark's comment here. If you don't like one of the lines of Lego, don't buy it. Buy what you love and build what you want, and don't put down others for what they enjoy. I agree, and I will admit that I have been guilty of razzing Lego Star Wars fans on occasion, but only because they just sometimes, have bad behavior. But I always think Minifig Chick, who is on our show on Sundays, she always says there's she's not a Star Wars fan, but she's like I love all the Lego because it's fun and I can build things and I can take what I want, take the parts that you like, get rid of the parts that you don't like, or don't buy the parts that you don't like.
Yeah, Albert just said exactly that. Every line has elements that are useful in mocks.
Yep.
Like, I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I don't hate it. I just don't prioritize how I spend my big set budget. on stuff that's mostly grey because I don't like building with grey that much. Like,
Right.
there's no hate involved in that, and that doesn't have to be. I literally have right next to me right now. I have this that I built last week that I bought because I thought that the colors were really cool.
It's a great set. Yeah, I built that. See, I have my Star Wars things too. So
yeah,
like that buildable Tauntaun was the cutest thing ever.
I have that one too. There we go. Clearly, we just have the same Star Wars likes. If it's got dark azure and sand green in it, then it's fine.
Now if llama had been a Tauntaun, I may feel very differently about it.
And so might a lot of other people.
All right, friends. I actually have to wrap this up here because I've got an appointment on London Bridge Bricks that I need to keep.
So do I, which we're both late for.
Yes, which we are now both late for. Thank you both so much. We don't rarely dive into this kind of subject on our show, and I'm just so thrilled that we got a chance to kind of like sit and talk about that, give some spicy takes.
I'm more than happy to come and give you spicy takes and deep dives whenever you so wish, Flint. Do not worry.
Very good. And, our dear friend Bricks O'Brien is also good for the spicy takes as well. So I'm glad to have that, that element. See, that's the thing. Like when you have this persona of being the nice guy, sometimes it's hard to put out the spicy takes and have people not be freaked out by it.
You just need to add a little sprinkle of spice, a little bit at a time.
Exactly.
Like that was your today's spice was still not super spicy. Just
no, it was pretty much It was
but
just
you're just baby steps. You got to ease everybody into it because if you go full spice immediately.
In the land of spices, that spicy take was like marjoram. It wasn't really
like a little one chili icon. Getting on, working your way up the level of
on the Nando scale, it was lemon and herb.
yeah. That's it. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I look forward to the next stream where we can get a little bit of peri peri going.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for coming on today. I super appreciate it. This was such a fun conversation. I really loved it.
Kirby take.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was a lot of fun, and I know the audience had a lot of fun. And I hope that everybody will be back to join us on Sunday, where we will be breaking down the last episode of Lego Masters Season 2, which was the Demolition Derby, which was really a lot of fun. So hopefully,
still haven't finished Season 1.
What'd you say?
I still haven't finished Season 1 here in the UK.
Yeah, I know. So that's what we'll be talking about on Sunday. And then following that up, next Wednesday, we will be doing our final Wednesday show, the end of an era. We'll be doing our final Wednesday show, but we will be building the new 3-in-1 Creator Castle. So very excited to put that together. So everybody, thank you, Jake. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, chat, everybody, for chiming in and talking about this fun subject. And until next time, when we see you again, don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear that mask when and where you still need to, get that vaccine as soon as you possibly can, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.